have you come across any psychopaths when flea marketing / collecting other than Ian Frank? Yes, but mostly sellers.
He said he loves those guys.
He does love those guys.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why. But yeah, mostly the sellers are the ones that are a little bit off the rocker or will flip on you or do something weird. One story that happened, I used to go to swap meet on a Friday. And a Friday flea market at this location is very competitive. Like, this is like where all the sellers for the weekend get their stuff. So you realize that going in. It's a lot smaller, a lot more compact. You run around.
Right.
So I guess there was a seller that had given out his number to me and two other guys. Two other guys that are big sellers. One owns a record store. The other one sells at Mary's swap meets. Now sells this one. And then, so me and this other seller, we never compete with each other when we find stuff. You know, if there's stuff we work out, hey, you get that, I get that. It's very cordial. This other guy, though, went out of his fucking mind when he saw us there. So it was like he was trying to hide games. Like, the stuff was in the back of this seller's car. And he was like, oh, this is mine, trying to put it aside. And then me and this other seller were looking at the stuff and just looking at this guy like, what the fuck is, like, what is wrong with you? It's like, we're not posturing, we're not being aggressive, we're just looking at the stuff, we're looking to see what's in there.
Not showing our tail
and this other guy's going out of his mind. And finally, he starts bidding up on the stuff, but he bids against himself. Me and this other guy are keeping our mouths shut because we realize the only way you win a situation like this is not to play.
Right.
For everyone.
Yeah.
You never bid against other people because they'll do it to you, and then you drive up the price of everyone. You either share the stuff or you let one person have it. So we said, all right, I'll give you $200 for stuff. No, I'll give you $300. I'll give you $400. No, I'm not going to compete against these guys. I got a kid and a wife, and I feel like saying, first of all, asshole, I don't give a shit about your personal life. We all have personal lives, you know. But second, you are being totally out of your mind, and you're bidding yourself up. The stuff, me and the other seller looked at this stuff, and we realized the value of the stuff in there was maybe $350 to $375. He bid about the price it was worth if all the systems worked and all the games were there, and not even accounting for the time. Hey, people that want to sell games, time is money.
Yes.
And so he was going to have to bust his ass to break even or make a little bit of a profit even marking this stuff up. One of the weirdest things I'd ever seen. Like,
yeah, I mean,
really strange.
Just a case of shooting yourself in your own foot.
Another seller was a guy that I'd spent hundreds of dollars on. Like, I thought it was cool with him. You know, always had a lot of. He always, I got some. Some computer games. Why don't you take a look at this? Sometimes I'll set aside stuff for you to look at before I put it out. I'm like, all right, fine. I mean, nothing gold. He knew what the value of the stuff was, but he'd give me like half value, for half eBay value. So one time he had about 15 or 20 sealed computer games from the 80s, and I love collecting computer games. There were a few of the gold box Dungeons & Dragon games, and there was about 15 or so games that ones I never heard of. And the thing about collecting computer games is that if you never heard of it, it's probably worthless. That's where we are with computer games. Even if the game's hard to find, it's not worth that much. No one's even selling them to even have a price. So he's like, all right, I know what you do. And first of all, you know what I do. Like, I'm not going to sell these computer games. Look at my garage. All the computer games are in there. I'm a maniac. Anyway.
Yes.
I start pricing these games out. And yes, okay, Dungeons & Dragons, okay, these are worth $40, $50 at least. This is good stuff. Okay. No one has them sealed, but okay. Then I look at the other games, $5. There's none on here. This is worthless. This is probably worthless. So I'm not going to go through 20 games. I'm on my freaking phone. Reception is not the best. I said, listen. I'm going to ballpark this for you. And I've been honest with him totally the past before. And I'm usually honest with everyone. I'm like, this stuff is probably worth like $300. So I'm just going to average it out, and I'll give you $150. I'll give you the average. I said some of this stuff is worth $30, $40. And most of this is over here $5. I can't spend an hour and a half here looking at all the prices though. The guy flipped out. He flipped out at me. I didn't say this stuff was worth $20. I didn't say this stuff was worth $10. I said this stuff's worth $300, and I'll give like $150. Even I might have been off $50 one way or the other. Sure. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is he flipped out at me. He said, "Oh, you're gonna give me the average price of it," and it's like, all right, asshole. And then he took the box back, put it back away, didn't offer a counter, didn't say, "Oh, I know this stuff is worth this." Motherfucker, if you're gonna come in with the attitude, then you price out the games beforehand. Don't let me do the work for you and get pissed or do part work. You do the work then. I'm doing you a favor by spending my time and going through it and trying to educate you and giving what I think is a fair value for it. And then then you respond with what you think is fair. Don't blow up at me.
If yeah, I'm on your side here. I mean, honestly, if you think it's worth $300, I'd probably have offered him $200. But what all that really matters is that you flat out told him what you thought it was worth and then made an offer. If he didn't like the offer, that's all he had to say.
Even if he thought I was lowballing him at 150 or so, I think that I think the way in my head, I think I averaged it. If there was 20 games, I think I averaged it at $15 a game, something like that. And I told him, like, that's how I'm looking at it. So I basically offered him. I think I offered him, something. I think I offered him like $8 per game, or it might have been even a little more. I mean, 160. Is that then you do the homework and you do your counter to me. I even said to him, listen, I wasn't trying to be honest. Listen, this is really niche stuff. Not a lot of people are into 80s computer games, and if you sell them to someone else, they might offer you less, they might offer you more, but there's a lot of games in here that aren't worth anything besides what collecting.
Or they're going to pick all the good shit out and leave you.
They're going to take those Dungeons and Dragon gold ones, which they'll be able to sell those maybe. Yeah. They ain't selling the games that no one's ever heard of, even if they're sealed. They're not, because they're just not.
Well, I've experienced that sometimes at work where people will come in and they'll have some good games, really good games in the box, and then they have a lot of crap, and I offer them some money, and they're like, well, I know this is worth this and this, and then they don't want to sell it. I'm like, fine, then go sell those to someone and watch your Top Guns and everything else that I actually would have given you money for, even though I have fucking 25 copies of it. You're never going to sell them.
You know what? I think I offered him like 180. I think I offered him like $9 a game or something for 20 games. I think I'm getting more angry. Anyway, I never dealt with him again. It was a total disrespect towards me because I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars and had nothing but, you know what I mean? And then after that, I don't even look in his direction anymore.